I'm a bad, bad boy.
In 2019, Joey Janela was one of the first to be signed to All Elite Wrestling. The future was wide open for the young wrestler who had made a name for himself on the independent deathmatch scene that he started working at the young age of 15.
When I was 15, I actually lied my way into the business. I basically told a local promoter that I was a trained wrestler, that I trained somewhere in Pennsylvania. I was totally untrained, 100%.
So you did your thumb?
Yeah, that's it.
Was that you or was that Big John?
That was.
I mean, who would you put it more on?
John, because he for no reason had barbed wire at the bottom of the truck.
I always was a fan of the Signic Mondo Zandig bump from 2003, which is just probably the craziest professional wrestling bump in the history of professional wrestling. So much can go wrong with a spot like that, and I always was intrigued by that spot on how Mondo, his career was suddenly over. The legend of Signic Mondo was done before it even got started. I knew Zandig, he was always about throwing guys off roofs, and I heard a little bit of rumbling that Zandig was coming back. And, you know, I had the right connections to kind of start rambling and talking about Zandig on social media, calling him out. I never thought a match would happen between me and Zandig. I just thought I'd get a little bit of, just a little bit of rubs from Zandig. It'd be funny to go back and forth with him online, because he's just such, you know, he's Zandig.
What are you, blind? Jesus!
You know, he's just such a underground icon of professional wrestling. But basically, it came to the point that I was contacted and heard that Zandig wanted to work me and he was coming back running his own show, the Tournament of Survival. It's kind of a throwback to the first CZW Tournament of Death. It was Zandig's Tournament of Death. But I didn't dream of anything like what happened would happen.
Nobody was going to see the barbed wire.
Yeah. From the huge fall?
Yeah. He had barbed wire at the bottom. I said,
it's like, oh, I'm gonna put some snakes and some broken glass down there too.
There was absolutely no reason for the barbed wire. So we get there and I'm like, well, why is the barbed wire necessary? He's like, oh, I'll cushion the fall.
You know what else would cushion the fall?
Yeah.
A fucking cushion.
Yeah, and that's what ripped up my fucking hand because I slapped out for some reason. I don't know why. Off a fucking 30-foot roof bump, and it went right through my fingers. Like, I don't want to wrestle any of these guys today. Like these great fucking athletes like Ricochet and stuff. I want to wrestle like Marty Jannetty. I want to wrestle Scott Norton. Like, I want to wrestle like the fucking Beverly Brothers or some shit. Like,
I mean, the odds of you wrestling a Ricochet or somebody like that are so much higher.
Oh, so much higher.
Yeah.
Like I was like, I want to wrestle Zandig. That's how I got to wrestle Zandig. I just went on Facebook and I said, I want to wrestle Zandig. Tried to throw me off a building, you piece of shit. And then he was like, all right, I will. He asked a few people, he's like, who is this piece of shit? And then he threw me off a fucking building.
It's MDK, Mr. Hargrave, all motherfucking dead. Parts unknown, motherfuckers. You fuck with them, you fuck with me. You fuck with me, I send someone with a ski mask to your house with a weapon in their motherfucking hand. Leave them alone.
By the time he signed with AEW, he was already a legend of the Northeast hardcore wrestling circuit and an anomaly for being so young, but having more experience in the ring than anyone else his age on the roster. Before the creation of All Elite Wrestling, an individual like Janela would probably have never been known to mainstream wrestling audiences. Those who knew of his extreme wrestling origins would undoubtedly take a keen interest in how this bad boy from New Jersey would fare in the home of the elite.
Chicago's one of the hottest wrestling crowds in the world, especially 10,000 of them. It's the first All In, so they're just going to be electric. And I think, according to the Bucks, I'll be opening that show on pay-per-view and Fight, and I don't think I can be in a better spot because that crowd is going to be legit on fire. The building might collapse. I don't know.
Actually, do you think you'll be over?
Oh, absolutely. I think so. I think I'm at this time everywhere I go. I'm probably get the biggest. I'm not a cocky guy, but everywhere I go, I get the biggest pop every show now in the last year. So there's a lot of new fans that are going to see me. So it's going to be interesting, but I think I'll be over there. I'm proving a lot of people wrong, and a lot of people that said, "Oh, this guy is just a guy who could fall off buildings and stuff." I'm definitely proving them wrong, and and I'll keep on doing the same.
Janela would have his first encounter with the Elite at the original All In against Hangman Adam Page in a street fight match.
I know that you're friends with John Moxley, Dean Ambrose. Have you talked to him at all this week?
I'm not friends with him, actually.
You're not? I'm sorry.
No, I think I've met him once.
Okay.
Tweeted
about him.
Yeah. I think it's because we're both from like the kind of the same universe that hardcore Philly fan base universe of professional wrestling, and that was like a dream match a lot of fans wanted to see throughout the years. When I was working for CZW, GCW, they wanted to see me versus John Moxley. I don't know what his situation is right now. I have no idea, but whatever he chooses to do, if he wants to sit home, he can. He's made enough money where he can sit home for the next 10 years, open up a hot dog stand somewhere in Arizona, and fucking do whatever he wants. But I'm sure he doesn't want to do that. I'm sure the reason he left the WWE is to use his creativity that he's always had, and a lot of it has been stripped throughout the years. And he had a great fucking run. He had one of the best runs the last 10 years. Some of the stuff he's done in the WWE was marvelous, but I think it was time to move on and spark some of that fire again that he once had for his love for professional wrestling.
Is there any talk of you having that hardcore style in AEW?
There's a lot of talk about it, actually. They have me, Jimmy Havoc, who's known for that in England, who I've had many battles with. Darby Allin, who is an amazing athlete, and he's somebody that is like me. He doesn't stick to a formula.
Every match you see him have is completely different from the last, and he doesn't care about his body. He does it for his love for the business. He does it for the fans. I respect that guy so much. I mean, with us three at AEW, it's gonna be a wild ride, and we're gonna bring some craziness back to mainstream professional wrestling. We're gonna bring some of that craziness back to TV. We're gonna make a lot of people online question: are we going in reverse? Is professional wrestling going back to hell? Hey, I want to bring professional wrestling back to hell. So, what better way to do that than AEW? I think a lot of people are dying for that gritty indie feel on a large scale again. And we certainly, with this roster, we can bring it back. But I watch a lot of the '90s stuff recently. I watched it a lot throughout the years, and some of the stuff I watch, I said, I can't believe they got away with that. But as a society, we've moved in we're moving in a great direction, I think. And I think professional wrestling, we can go back to a TV 14, but leave a lot of that weird trash back in the 90s.
What specifically has changed for you since you announced that you were signing for AEW? Obviously, a larger audience is now aware of you.
Yeah, a lot has changed. I don't have to hustle anymore outside the business. I can live comfortably. I can the money now is ridiculous. I was really delivering pizzas 2 years ago. I was driving Uber. I was working in a factory. I could never keep a job, and now we're gonna see if I can keep the biggest job I've ever had, living my dream, being a professional wrestler, notably on TV. And let's see. It's going to be a challenge for me. I never worked for a big corporate environment, but it's going to be a challenge. But I think my passion and my work ethic speaks for itself, and that will overshadow a lot of the weird things I do outside the business, whether it be on my social media or if you catch me on the street in Vegas pile driving a fan tonight after drinking 7 frozen margaritas.
I'm still having my fun at All Elite Wrestling. I ain't going fucking nowhere. But I feel like it's time for me to walk in front of the line, skip everyone in that line and say, listen, I am the motherfucking king. I am the motherfucking god. Next week on AEW Dynamite, I want the main event. I'm opening. I'm answering your fucking open challenge, Jon Moxley. It's time for me to go on national TV and do what I've done this entire time, and that's change the motherfucking game!
Janela would be showcased again in All Elite Wrestling in the main event of Fyter Fest against Jon Moxley in a lights-out match. The match that time forgot would happen at Fyter Fest the month after Moxley's debut against Joey Janela and an unsanctioned lights-out match.
Unlike you, Jon Moxley, I haven't made millions. I haven't been told by somebody that I had to dress like an auto mechanic. I haven't starred in some straight to DVD movie that no one is ever gonna watch. I haven't had a promo written by a 24-year-old NYU student handed to me. While you were doing all these things in the last 10 years, while you were being a bootleg, watered-down, PG, Kevin Dunn, supervised version of your former self, I've been doing things that made your 17-year career look like child's play.
If you would like to know more about Baltimore's hatred of intentional bleeding, make sure you check out the video we made about Jon Moxley on this channel. And if you would like to help support this channel, The best way to do that is to join our Patreon. For just $1 a month, you can keep videos like this coming. We have also been posting Patreon exclusive content that cannot be found anywhere else. So when you run out of videos on this channel, you can find even more for just $1. The other way you can help support us is to subscribe.
And ring that bell a few times until it turns solid. Apparently, if you just click it once, it's not good enough. Why isn't it good enough? I don't know. It doesn't seem fair, does it? What can I say? YouTube can be pretty unreasonable when it comes to these things. And here's the sad truth. Even if you subscribe and ring the bell until it promises to alert you when new videos drop, it probably still won't. So what will you need to do if you like this channel and you want to see all the videos released here is to go and get a 4x6 postcard and write to YouTube directly. Tell them that you very much like the videos on the Mr. Hartgrave from Parts Unknown channel, and please, please, please notify me when new videos drop. Short of that, my best advice would be to simply come back once a week and click on the videos tab on the channel and see what I posted this week and watch all the videos you haven't seen. Trust me, they're all super good. Especially that 1-hour video on Will Ospreay that totally didn't break my brain and leave me a broken shell of the man I used to be.
But then I was like, you know, I was like, shit, I made it. It works. I made it. Let's party, baby.
Yeah.
You know, let's party, dude. And then a week later, I'm at PNC Art Center and I'm pissed drunk, blackout drunk. And me and Giancarlo and Ricky Bonsa, I'm gonna fuck with Enzo. Because you seen him on it was Lil Wayne and Blake Way 2. I'm gonna fuck with him. Well, you couldn't find him, and then I see some guy with a beard dressed in something that looked like a potato sack walking in front of me. I go, oh shit, it's Enzo. And I start like punching him in the jaw. He didn't take me. I spatted about him. The whole situation happened, and they got it on video, and I looked like the biggest fucking idiot ever. And then everyone was like, Tony, this is the guy that you just put main event with Moxley, this fucking degenerate fucking idiot. And that's where I think a lot of the guys like the Christopher Daniels and the Frank Kazarians in the world, those guys that didn't know me, right there, that was like, yeah, let's write that guy off. Fuck that guy. He's an asshole. Makes us look bad. We're an upstart company. You know, we're trying to make this the greatest wrestling company in the world. Got guys that pissed drunk at Blink-182 concerts, causing issues.
Yeah. That video went
everywhere, and I look like the biggest fucking idiot of all time. And I you know, I apologized. Me and Enzo talked out.
Do you wish you didn't do it?
Oh, absolutely. There's one thing I didn't wish I did in my life, and it was that.
At Fight for the Fallen, Janela teamed with Darby Allin and Jimmy Havoc in a losing effort to Shawn Spears, MJF, and Sandy Guevara. After the match, the three men would blame each other for the loss and brawl backstage, and this would directly lead to all of them being booked to fight at the upcoming All Out event in August.
Again, Janela, what the fuck?
My fans throughout the years that have watched me grown on the independents, they know that I'm not just a one-dimensional wrestler, that I'm not just a hardcore guy. I like to do that stuff. That's the stuff as a New Jersey, you know, kid born in 1989 who grew up through the 90s. I love the ECW, and when that went away, the CZW came in and they just stepped it up a notch. I do enjoy that and the deathmatch style professional wrestling, but I've done it all. I've wrestled every guy that's come through the independents and guys from the past, the last 5 years, and you know, I've adapted well and I've wrestled many different styles. So I'm just looking forward to now wrestling here weekly on AEW, showing the new mainstream fans that haven't seen Joey Janela in a technical wrestling match, showing them the skills I have acquired through the last 15 years.
I arranged for it dark. Yeah. with Joey Janela.
Oh, come on.
And I don't want it sanctioned.
Don't want
it lights out.
Oh, Lord, did you say lights out? Kenny, this is reckless.
Come on, man. I want it lights out.
All right, whatever.
Okay,
Whatever. I give
this
up.
is something you have to do for me.
Learn to take care of yourself. That's what you need to learn to do.
And good luck to you guys. Thought you'd understand. Good luck, buddy.
At the end of 2019, Janela would have a series of matches with Kenny Omega. What the fuck? Kenny fucking Omega? Okay. And the matches were pretty fucking good too? Well, strap a rocket on this fucking kid and let's go. Main event Joey here. Oh shit. Pandemic. Global shutdown. Motherfucker. Well, nothing a little reboot can't fix.
I've been telling people on this channel to subscribe, and they won't.
Yes?
What can we do about that? Can you help me out? Maybe if you tell them to subscribe, they'll do it.
Threaten them. I'll threaten them
Yeah,
for you.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah. You don't have to do it or you're cursed.
What's on your mind? What's going on? Just AEW is not going the way I wanted it to, you know? You know, I can get used to this.
I can too.
What started you guys working together? Because it was awesome.
Cody. Cody, I don't know. He was just trying to, I think he was just throwing shit at a wall. There was a big show coming up in Jersey at the Prudential Center.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the one that got canceled due to COVID.
Got it.
So they're like, what do we do with Joey and Sonny Kiss? It's a hometown gig for them. Let's just team them up. So that show got canceled. And then eventually in COVID, I think Cody was just like, let's roll with it. So I said, I got this idea for these vignettes. Let's do these vignettes that they're like 1980s, like Miami Vice. But the dynamic is so different because I'm the cis white male and Sonny Kiss is the flamboyant, representative of the LGBT community.
Yeah.
And I wanted to tell a story where I was down on my luck, that I did these matches with Moxie. I did these matches with Omega and they were world renowned. Everyone was talking about them. Then COVID happened and I was in shambles. And Sonny Kiss is like, I'm from Jersey. You're from Jersey. Let's get back on our feet together, So Cody paid. He's like, that's a great idea. Cody, out of his own pocket, paid for these vignettes. It took seriously 15 hours to film.
Yes.
So it's edited. We watched it. We're like, wow, this is really good stuff. This is really awesome. Cody was like, it's really good. They showed it to Tony. Tony hated it.
Oh no!
He hated these promos. Thought they were phony, fake. He hates it. He hates the invisible camera. He hates the cinematic stuff, which they've done a lot more. But maybe it was just because it was me. And he knew I was actually going to get over this time. but yeah, everyone loved it. We had to like convince. I had to like beg him, like, listen, we have to put this on TV. We have to. Like this could change the direction that me and Sonny's careers are going.
Yeah.
And we got it on TV, like a certain like kind of edited down version of what we put out, and still it would just got people were talking about it, all over. It was trending on Twitter. This video, Eric Bischoff he watched it. He said, "Oh, that was one of the greatest promos I've ever seen in my life."
Yeah.
He said that this was really awesome, but that wasn't in the intentions that Tony had with us. So he didn't like the video, and from there we kind of we wrestled Brody and Colt Cabana, and I think that was one of Brody's first matches on TV.
Wow.
We did that, and we had that, and that was it. We did something with Chris Jericho and Jake Hager. We had like a no disqualification match that was pretty all right, but
yeah.
For those times.
Oh, that's a bummer. Right. That's such a bummer. I mean, as soon as I saw the pairing of you two, I was like, oh my God, I love this dynamic. I mean, as everybody else obviously felt the same way. That's too bad that it kind of fell between the cracks like that. Do you let stuff like that linger when you feel like it was a great opportunity that you weren't able to follow through on?
It was definitely, that was like probably that's, I don't regret anything on my AEW run. The things I regret is not getting an action figure.
That's annoying, right? Yeah.
Not pushing on keeping. If we did a little promo package like that every other week or every week, and built that up, I'm sure it would have been, our careers would have been a lot different at this point. But it's just when I felt like it was time, I said, listen, this is time for. Tony said, listen, we want to bring you back to TV. So we have to figure out a way to get out of this Sonny Kiss tag. So Cody let me create this whole storyline where I broke up with Sonny, and I would just go to QT or Cody or whatever. And really, Dark is not Tony's priority. It's really just to pad the records for storyline purposes. So I would just go to Cody or I would go to QT, and I'd say, all right, this is what we're doing this week. This is what I'm doing this week.
Yeah.
And they go, okay. And I did that. And there was a couple weeks where they didn't bring me out to TV. So it went on way too long, but the payoff was good with me and Sonny. And unfortunately, I beat Sonny in that last match because the plans were to bring me and Kayla back to TV.
Okay.
So Tony was like, all right, you go up and that's it. We'll bring you back to TV. But situations happen, and who knows what would have happened, there was times in my AEW run where I was like, listen, during COVID, I said, all right, I can't take this anymore. There's no fans. I'm wrestling at 3:00 in the morning. And then I have to deal with all these idiots on the internet who I'm under the spotlight right now.
Right.
And it's not worth the mental health issues. It's not worth the just going on the internet and just seeing your name, just getting dragged through the mud every day.
Yeah.
And I would go to Brett Lauderdale, who's a promoter, a GCW owner, and John Carlo, Dynamo, who I'm in the group chat with. Basically, that's how the gears rolled and turned in GCW, who now works he's now a producer at AEW. I go, I'm quitting today. And they would go, what are you doing? Don't quit. I said, I'm quitting. I'm done with this. They said, but you're getting a paycheck every 2 weeks. There's people out of work right now that are homeless that can't feed themselves because COVID. And I said, I don't care. I'll go Uber Eats, or I'll go do this or do that. And they're like, no, just wait it out till the contract ends. I said, okay. So then I waited out. And then there was a time as soon as COVID was over, I got motivated again, decided to get back into shape, change my look, almost look like a wrestler. But there was a time where I thought like things were going to go a different way after me and Sonny broke up. And, I was obviously working hard, and even though my matches were mostly only on Dark, people were still getting a good amount of buzz, me and Sonny Kiss on Twitter and stuff. So I thought my career was going to go a different way. And I told Sean Ross Sapp in September that I think I'm going to get renewed and we're just going to go on, and see what happens. But then from there to January, I don't know what happened. Just stuff happens. It's wrestling. Never say never. I don't think that there's any bridges burnt right now, at least not on my side. There could be on his side. But, never say never.
It ended on AEW Dark Elevation in August of 2021, 2022. 2021, yeah. Sure that by that time. But 2021, yeah. And it was I didn't want the breakup to happen so soon, but I think Joey explained that there was something different, a different storyline for him or something. But I love teaming with Joey, and I feel like our tag team didn't last long enough.
This is Thunder Rosa from the Graveyards of Tijuana, Mexico. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, The Parts Unknown, and Grave Diggers keep digging.
Well, it was weird because we were doing this whole angle with Sonny Kiss that I basically booked the whole thing top to bottom, and it was hitting on all cylinders for their internet TV show. It wasn't on TV. People were bombarding us to put it on TV because it was so good and the emotion was there and people were into it and people started to hate me because I turned on Sonny Kiss. I said, listen, Sonny, you're over now to a degree, but I want to get you to the next level with this storyline. And if I knew otherwise, I would have had Sonny Kiss go over in our final street fight in Universal Studios, which was a great received match. I would have had Sonny go over me, and I would have walked into the sunset. But I think they had plans on me. Tony kept on saying, after this, we're bringing you back to TV. But unfortunately, I think a lot of it has to do with a situation. I wrestled Eddie Kingston in Charlotte, and I super kicked him in the face a little bit too hard. Came in a little bit too hot. I've been squatting probably 50 more pounds than I'm used to be squatting and doing 100 pounds more on the leg press. And I don't know, I didn't realize I had that type of power in my legs, and I gave him a super kick and I broke his orbital bone. And he was going into a feud with Chris Jericho. And I feel like that might have been the straw that broke the camel's back. A lot of guys, maybe some older heads that believed my hype and believed I was some kind of dangerous professional wrestler. I've had times where I've injured people. Of course, everyone has. But once you get a reputation, it's hard to break that. And, I've had a string of bad luck throughout my AEW career, and that might have been the straw that broke camel's back, but I don't know because they don't communicate with me.
Right.
They did the same thing to Marco Stunt. They just stopped talking to him. But I appreciate them. And, if you have talent relations, I know Christopher Daniels would love nothing more than tell me that I'm no longer with the company. But it is what it is. And I'm not sad. I'm not mad. I'm not mad at anyone. I had a wonderful experience. I'm happy for fucking Penelope Ford, who came up with me. Basically, I took from, she was my girlfriend at one point, and we made this thing happen from CZW Dojo Wars, which was in a storage unit somewhere in South Jersey, all the way to these bigger shows, to us getting a full-blown deal for 3 years with All Elite Wrestling, and she's doing wonderful right now. And I did everything I ever wanted there, and to me, it's I'm gonna make basically the same money this year doing independence, but working twice as hard this year. I just it's no big deal to me, and I appreciate everyone there, and I appreciate everything I got to do, and just happy right now. I'm more focused, more motivated than I've ever been in my career, and you can see it in my work.
been nothing but good Joey Janela matches over the last 8 months. Whether it be my matches that I did at AEW Dark, or my GCW matches, or my match with Nick Wayne, which is arguably the best independent wrestling match of last year. I'm back to where I wanted to be, and I feel 10 years younger. And, I'm not going to change a thing. It was great. Great times, and I'm having a great time right now.
I really didn't never complain about what I did there, but like after wrestling Kenny, having a phenomenal match and just doing it, and just getting thrown into the gauntlet, never having a developmental training or anything like that, or never really going and having a run in New Japan or not, and just going out there and just killing it with these guys who are on the, as fans say, are on the most elite level of professional wrestling, and looking like I belong there with them in 30-minute matches and whatnot, if there's plunder in there or not. I just felt like I deserved a little bit better after that, because it went from Sean Spears, but that's fine. Like Sean Spears, he's a vet. It was just I felt like it was thrown together. There wasn't much thought into it. It's like, what do you want to do this week? Maybe you should just maybe kidnap Tully Blanchard. Like come on. It's just like, it's still like that. I feel like at some levels that there's stuff Tony cares about, and there's stuff that's like, hey, what do you want to do with it?
Right.
Not really a thought process behind some of it, but it went from that, and then they threw me into I felt like that they threw me into a program with my ex-girlfriend, who was signed with me. It was supposed to be an act with me and her new boyfriend, and I'm like, man, I must have pissed someone off, because someone's really chopping my legs off right now. And just from there, it just went all downhill. And by the time that we got to the end of my contract, I probably could have re-signed, and there was talks about bringing me back to TV and stuff, but I just didn't want to go through another 3 years of me dealing with, the backstage politics of a TV wrestling company. And not only that, but going on Twitter and then getting harassed 24 hours a day, because the way I'm used on TV is making me look like I'm in a bad light.
So Tony was like, listen, your act with Penelope, it was stellar. We have to find a way to kind of not replicate that, but we need an athletic female that we can pair you with, so we can kind of do a similar act and bring you back to TV.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, okay, I'll start looking on the indies for gymnasts or former cheerleaders and stuff that can do some pretty amazing stuff.
Yeah.
So we looked at a few girls, and we were on the fence about it, because when the lights are on, it's going to be, you got to hit those big moves. Penelope was always able to do that. Yeah. And she was really, really like teaming with me and doing the stuff with me on the indies, CCW and beyond wrestling. It was really like, all right, she didn't know what the hell was going on. Like, she was trained by Drew Gulak. She learned the basics pretty solid, but I'm like, listen, you're going to have to do this, and you're going to have to hit it in one shot, or you're going to have to do something this fucking crazy. And she was just like, all right, let's go. And that was basically our act. So Tony wanted something similar to that. So then I seen the girl Kayla. I seen clips of her doing Phoenix splashes and moonsaults and stuff, and found out that she was a former Olympic gymnast and a pro bodybuilder. I was like, wow, this is something different. This is great. And I was always a fan of early China with D-Generation X. I said, she could be China, but with crazy,
like aerial moves,
moves and just craziness.
Yeah.
So we pitched it to Tony, and Tony's like, yeah, let's bring her up. So where do you want to do it? Let's do a Universal. I said, no. I said, let's do it in the United Center. I said, let's have her come out to the United Center and do something. Well, we debuted her there, and I think she she just started training like within a couple months. So she got brought right in. I seen her. She was training for 2 months. Brought her right into the United Center, one of the biggest shows in AEW history at that point.
Yeah.
So she did something. She power bombed Robert Anthony, but he kind of leaped into it. So he kind of looked, and she's not a wrestler, so she doesn't have the mind to grab. He just hopped in just to make it look as good as possible. So that clip kind of went into all the botch Twitters, the AEW botches, the botch kings. I don't know what these fucking things are. So kind of like, fuck, okay. Tony said I didn't like it. Okay, I got an idea. Let's do the match with Sonny. We did the heel turn on Sonny. I said we're gonna do let's do a Jersey versus Jersey match for Prudential for Dark. So and then have her do something crazy afterwards. So Sonny, so we have this match. We have 12 minutes on the board. We're about to go out. Okay, now you guys have 6 minutes. Tony's like, no, 5 minutes. That's something that usually happens at TV. Like, fuck. Like, we're supposed to have this big match in our home state, sold out, Prudential Center. We absolutely aced that match. Like, it was nonstop action. Not a lot of selling, not a lot of psychology, but, man, that crowd was hot. One of the hottest crowds I've ever encountered one of my matches in AEW. It was awesome. We had them, and then we had her do the moonsault double stop with the chair on Sonny afterwards, and the crowd just lost it.
Yeah.
I said, okay, we have something.
Yeah.
Tony's like, yes, now we have something.
Okay.
Everyone's like, yeah, we have something. Big Show's like, this is a great act. This is something. You guys got something. Let's keep on working.
Okay.
Giving her advice. Everyone is really digging it, and some of the girls, of course, are like, who's this girl? She's been training for 2 months. She walks in off the streets and is suddenly getting on something that we've worked so hard for all these years.
Yeah.
But she becomes really cool with the locker room, and Tony says we have something. So the plan is, Tony said, okay, now we're going to do another Sunny Kiss match. But he's so all over the place, so he's not really focused too much on the dark shit. So he says, all right, write this whole storyline. Create this whole storyline, which I did from the turn on Sunny. So I basically wrote everything, pitched it to Cody and QT, and they would feed it to Tony. And Tony's like, okay, let's go. So then so he said, okay, we just got to get this Sunny street fight match out of the way, the blow-off. And then we can bring you back to TV and figure something out.
Okay.
So I said, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
I said, finally, back on TV. Let's go. I'm in great shape right now. I got in the best shape. I was like, ready to go, TV. So we do the street fight, and Tony says, you up? Because we're bringing you back there. We're going to give you something. And I said, okay, cool. So I beat Sunny in that match, and a great match, another great match with Sunny Kiss. So then we're just rolling with the punches. I don't know what happened after that, but then the thing with Eddie Kingston, I super kicked him a little bit too hard and broke his eye socket, which is unfortunate. Shit happens.
My contract's up on May 1st, and I'm going to have to say no now. I'm not interested in signing with AEW, re-signing with them. It was a little I was a little scared getting back into the independent wrestling world and making money. It's so, you take those things for granted. You're getting a paycheck every 2 weeks, a pretty good paycheck. And in your head, you're like, shit, when this is over, this is going to disappear. But I was born a hustler in this business. I was scared to get back into the world, but now I'm no longer scared, because back in the day before AEW, I was going to wrestle for basically nothing. I was just doing it because I love it. I would do 3-4 shows a week, and I would rack up small paydays from the promoters, plus my merchandise, and I'd be satisfied. I'd be making a lot of money. But now my price has gone significantly up, so I didn't know if the promoters were going to welcome me back with open arms. But recently I've realized the promoters know the situation. They realize what the situation is going to be, and they've been hitting me up big time. They say, we want you to come back here.
We want you to wrestle some of the newer guys we have. We want you to wrestle some of the older guys. We want that Joey Janela back, and I'm happy and I'm satisfied with what I did in those 3 years in AEW. It was a learning experience, and I'm going to say this in the most positive way possible without looking negative. AEW, those 3 years was developmental for the rest of my career. I'm so much sharper now, not only in ring, but business wise. I've learned so much in those 3 years that now not only am I sharper myself in all facets of the wrestling business, but also I can go to a young guy. I can go to a Nick Wayne and teach him some of the stuff I've learned in those 3 years, or I can go to GCW, or I can go to another promotion and teach them what I've learned on the other side of the curtain. So I'm not sad at all. I did everything I wanted to do there. Within the 6 months I started there. My goal was to wrestle Jon Moxley, Kenny Omega, main event TV, main event pay-per-view. Did it all. The only thing I didn't get was an action figure, which I don't know. So be it. It's over now, and we're just moving forward. I have no complaints. I thank Tony. I just wish there were more. They've been doing this to people. They've been radio silent on the people they are letting the contracts expire. That's why you have talent relations, to talk to your talent and tell them what the situation is. If they're going to have a paycheck coming in, or they're going to be signed to a per appearance deal, which some of the guys have agreed to. I would never agree on a per appearance deal anywhere. My per appearance deal is going to be when I'm booking myself all over the world. I'm booked in 6 different countries coming up. Per appearance on the independent scene. I want to be my own boss. That's how I've got my name out there. I was my own boss, and I had the most buzz outside of the Elite, and that's why I had this opportunity at AEW. That's why I had the opportunity at All In. People say to me on the internet, they said the only reason you worked at AEW was because you're friends with the Young Bucks. I met the Young Bucks twice before AEW. I wasn't friends because I was one of the most successful self-promoting wrestlers and in the world at that point. So I'm not sad about anything. I thank everyone there. I learned so much. I had ups and downs. COVID really killed me wrestling in front of no crowd. I really lost motivation. My back was shot out. When the doctors tell me my back is shaped like an S because all the wild stuff I've done in my career, that's something that's scary to hear, and that's why you're not moving the way you should at 31 years old. It's because your spine is shaped like an S. But that's been fixed. I feel great. I'm back in shape. I just wish there was less radio silence on their end with me. I consider Tony a friend. I hung out with Tony a lot in the beginning days of AEW. I just wish they would talk to me. I know it's come to an end, but I appreciate them. I appreciate the experience I had, and I'm going to take everything I learned there and bring it with me for the rest of my career.
I'm a bad boy.